the Z2470 f4. Incredible. Okay.
Well, if it ain't bokeh, don't fix it. All right, let's start by introducing yourself for someone who doesn't know you.
My name is Tamara Lackey, and I am a very proud Nikon ambassador and have been for 11 years now, I think, 2013, 14. And I love photographing animals and people, but specifically wildlife and cage life in terms of rescue animals and children, because the authenticity they bring is extraordinary. Jerry Ghionis, tell us about yourself.
So I have been photographing for over 3 decades. I've been teaching for over 24. I've been Nikon ambassador now for 13, 14 years, something like that. I photograph weddings, portraits, fashion, commercial. I live in Las Vegas now. I'm obsessed with photographing performers. I do some filmmaking, a bit of directing. I run the Icon Awards, which Nikon proudly sponsors, which I'm very excited about. And I love what I do. But more importantly, I would ask you a serious question.
Go.
If you were a lens,
Sure.
what would you be and why?
I'd probably be the Z85 1.2 lens because I'm exceptionally sharp, but also frequently shallow. How about you? If you were a lens?
I would be the 105 macro because I'm beautiful from far and even more beautiful close up.
Oh, so well done. Excellent.
I have the utmost respect for you because you literally are saving the world. And a lot of people think of like, what's life all about? And it's about purpose and it's experience. And I think people are overwhelmed by the enormity of how do I make a difference with my camera? Mm-hmm. You've saved over 3,000 animals and you're a working photographer. You're an incredible mother, incredible wife. How do you do it all?
In all seriousness, everything that started with Beautiful Together, which is now also Beautiful Together Animal Sanctuary, which is our work in Ethiopia and here in North Carolina, specifically our animal sanctuary, it all started with photography. Like it just was this idea of how can I get other people to care about what I'm looking at? And the best way to do that is with a camera. One of the things that's so impactful about photography is that you can use it to show other people what you see and just say, I want you to care too, and then amplify that. But in terms of everyday life, I am very, very scheduled. And I don't do it all. I do it because I've got these great teams and these great organizations of people who also care a whole bunch and are also trying to promote it and everything. So tell me about you. You do obviously your wedding work. You really love the entertainment field. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. I mean, living in Vegas, I didn't really appreciate the fact that I'm now living in the entertainment capital of the world, which is sort of obvious when you think about it, but you think of that there's 360 odd shows a night. You add the performers, you add the production people, you add everyone behind those incredible mastery of one's craft. It's intoxicating. So I'm working on a bunch of projects at the moment. I think that many of us feel if you don't feed your soul, you will end up not feeding your mouth. So for me, it's all about producing and creating work that you love, that gives you longevity. And a lot of people will say, like, you should niche down, like just pick one niche. And I'd like to think of my niche as photographing people. Tell me a genre that you've wanted to pursue that you haven't had time within photography.
Probably about 4 years ago or so, I remember I spent so much time photographing animals and children, but not as much wildlife. And I was so jonesing to do more of it because I think part of the draw to it was I do spend so much time with animals who are caged and who are abused and abandoned and neglected. And there's such a draw to just seeing this glorious freedom, these grizzly bears in Alaska and tigers in India and polar bears in the Arctic Circle. And it makes so much sense to me in terms of everything else I shoot. I love it. What about yourself?
I look at every ambassador and just photographers in general. I get inspired a lot, and like I look at someone like Brian Scarey, who I mean, just creates this incredible, breathtaking imagery underwater. So for me, I'll be honest with you, I'm actually doing what I really love to do. But would I like to not be afraid of the water and be underneath and see these incredible whales and these beasts, just gentle giants underwater? That's probably what under my bucket list. I'd love to do that with maybe Brian, so maybe I can connect with him and see if I can make that happen. So talking about favorite lenses, I think one of the most underrated lenses that I use is the 24 to 120 f4. Because, I mean, everyone gravitates towards the faster lens, 85, 50, 1.2 and things like that. But being an event photographer as well, shooting weddings, 24 to 120, it does everything. You know, so I can capture the bride walking down the aisle, a close-up of the groom, a wide shot of the church. I can go on the dance floor, do whatever I do. So it's one of those lenses that not many people have, but they should. Name me one other one.
Excellent question. On the front of underrated lenses, you know what lens I think is highly underrated and I use very frequently? Z2470 f4. So it's a sub $1,000 lens. So, you know, unbelievably, I think, price friendly for what you get. And even though it's f4 and you kind of think of that as you're not going to get that shallow depth of field, the optics are such that you can get really close and have incredible bokeh.
Well, if it ain't bokeh, don't fix it.
Okay, incredible bokeh. And, but also it's like this near macro lens. And I don't know that people know that. You can get this near macro lens capability just with this one pancake lens, super lightweight, run around. So I actually absolutely love that lens and use it all the time.
Remember, you don't have to be the best. You simply have to be better than last week. I love you. You like that? Thank you.
Remember, you too can save the world.